Good evening, Free Enterprise fans, and happy Valentine's Day. You are all my Valentines, and I am so happy to be here with you. This is the Lunar Racing Club, and I am joined here tonight by Scythe Marshall. How are you doing tonight?
I'm pretty good, Allie. Happy Valentine's Day. Looking forward to what is possibly a dumpster fire, but could also just be a really, really fun seat to watch.
Most definitely. This is the Lunar Racing Club, so Yang start, Yang hero. Yang can be a great hero, Yang can be a terrible hero. It all depends on what you find.
Yeah, find a cat claw. Cat claw early would be really helpful. Yang, you can make Yang really fast, but sometimes you just want to just tank him completely and let other people do the work. We'll see who the partner character is. If it's DKC, we might be in for a bit of a slow start. We should note also in the restream booth today on tracking is Rydia Caller, pushing the buttons for us, and restreaming this wonderful race, hopefully, today is Aaron Lore.
And thank you so much to them. They are the ones doing the real hard work while we are here to watch some wonderful runners. We do have Plumeria Knight and Judge Joe, two of our just great community members, great runners. Really glad to see them featured. We also have two runners not featured on Restream tonight, and we're all looking for a great time.
Yeah. Okay. So it is K. So one key part of our flag set before we get going that you may have seen in the scroll just now is K unsafe is on. That means potentially underground access could be via the moon. How early do you think we're going to the moon this seed, Allie?
I think it depends on where that all-important darkness crystal is. I think if we start with a darkness crystal, we could see some very quick divergence. Joe, in particular, loves to go to the moon and takes on some pretty sketchy fights at pretty low levels, whereas Plumeria Knight plays a little bit more conservatively. But I do believe we are off.
Oh, amazing start.
Okay.
Wow.
We'll just do that.
Wow. Okay. So, Demas there. That's funny. That is, we know Bedward does not have a key item. Rydia's mom does. So the Demist is at the Bygin spot. So we know where to go for Demist. The Earth Crystal is very funny. Allie is a I don't know. Allie, you don't like raiding treasuries, but I do. So I don't know. You rolled the seed.
I mean, there is the flurry rating of how many backsteps do you take in a treasury?
That's true. You could just press R a whole bunch of times, but we start with basically nothing on this flag set. So I would probably just loot the entire thing and then sell some of it.
Most definitely. This flag set does not have starter kits on, which means you are not starting with life potions, tents, cure 2 potions. Those are mute arrows. I like mute arrows. So you need to buy this stuff, and life potions are a little bit more expensive on this flag or on the beta branch. So okay, that's a Stardust Rod.
That's a heroin robe. GG. Allie, you rolled an amazing treasury.
That's probably the best T-Pro treasury I have seen in a long time. Not only do you have enough money to fund whatever you need to fund, you also have a heroine robe for that Rosa. There's nothing sadder than a treasury that gives you a heroine robe when you have no ladies in your party.
Yeah, the money is pretty good. It's not as good as it used to be. We are running on the version 4.6 beta, which nerfed the sale price of some of the heavy armor. So that diamond armor not going to sell for quite as much. Crystal armor still sells for a lot, though. So we'll see how much money Plumeria Knight's about to get.
Yeah, Ms. Z, one of our developers who helped with beta, said that wanted to keep that crystal armor at the same price to keep it as the money armor, that meme that has come up in the past. So did not change the price of that heavy armor, but yes, everything else has dropped significantly in the beta branch.
So the one thing that I think our runners would have maybe wanted is a bow. We have mute arrows, but Rose is still rocking that short bow. Heroine headband's gonna do a lot for that, but looks like Judge Joe is actually going silver staff. The back row glitch is on, so it'll be fine, maybe.
And Plumeria and I, checking this Mist Cave, we do have a boss objective, defeat the Magus Sisters. So if you could get these checks knocked out really quick, and you know it isn't the Magus Sisters, you're not looking for a demist anywhere.
$66 damage does not take out a soldier. That's unfortunate. So we have the officer soldier fight, a freebie at Hobbs. That is an objective fight, so Plumeria is going to have to do it eventually. Plumeria is taking Kainatsu at Mist Cave, mostly just for looting, I suppose. The Hobbs character is Rydia, and so that's a Stardust Rod user, among other things. So I think Judge Joe is very happy to have done this fight first.
Yep, and due to some additional beta changes, it is easier to find those Bahamut summons. So a Bahamut or a Leviathan with that Stardust Rod, and you have your sweeper. Your Rydia will be your main damage dealer for the beginning of this seed.
The beginning and honestly also the middle. Like Bahamut is just so good. Sorry, I got distracted by Thunderclaws and Mist. That's a really good pickup. Also lit arrows, those are good too. Might be useful for a very dangerous Odin spot. So the specific change with Bahamut is that the orb moved from tier 7 to tier 6, which makes it like a lot more accessible. Even on T Pro, you could just walk into Castle Eblin and pick one up off the ground. Like it's not even in a monster box. It's just lying there. So we'll see how much our runners dig a little bit for Bahamut. It is Sea Hero, so there's no question about just leaving Rydia as an anchor. She will get levels, and she will get to blarg things hopefully.
Yep, and this is C Distinct 7, so we have seen 3 out of our 7 characters. All things considered, 2 of these characters definitely not bad at all.
And the third one is Young.
I mean, yeah. I don't know, find a curse string somewhere. He'll get boatloads of HP, so at Zeromist, he can be a backup chemist. I've been saved by many a Yang with 5,000 HP when a Zeromist fight goes a little sideways.
Yeah, Yang is, like, I think a lot of us rag on Yang a little bit for his damage dealing. As we see Karate going back to Fabul, I guess. Good joke. But Yang is very useful because of his HP pool, and his anchoring situation is usually pretty okay. So I'm never too worried with a Yang hero. It's sort of a middle of the road scenario.
Yep, it's definitely a lot more manageable than something like, say, an Edward or an Edge, somebody who gets a lot of agility. If you don't find something to kind of temper that and anchor it down, you can have some very interesting Moon and Zeromist fights.
Yes, Plumeria has found an archer bow in the Mysidia weapon shop, and so his Rosa is online now. Heroine, headband, archer, Rosa, very acceptable. She will carry the team for a little bit while Rydia throws the Stardust Rod at monsters for AoE. Does Fabul give us anything? The spoon. That's a key item, I guess.
I think it sells for 5,000 GP. At least it did.
Oh, is it 5,000 now?
Maybe it's 1,000. I know at one point it sold for 5,000.
I thought it was like 2,000.
It could have been nerfed, honestly. The spoon flag is not on in this flag set, so there is going to be no spoon word. Edward is probably a worst case scenario in finding a character. Because it might seem like I don't like Edward, but I just don't like the spoon flag.
That's honestly reasonable. It distorts certain things sometimes. Looks like Baron In was vanilla guards into Mom Bomb. Plumeria resets out, doesn't want any part of that Mom Bomb fight. I don't blame him. For Dupe Rosa, you're only really looking at the, I guess, kind of only looking at the key item check. But I guess maybe decided that he didn't have the power for that and is selling a whole bunch of stuff. Found life potions and cure 2s here, so not a bad shop in Baron. Those life potions are so expensive.
Yes. Back to when the beta flags were released, Ms. Z put out kind of a little joking list of things that, oh, that's a magma key. Little cute sneak peeks about the beta list, and one of the things is one person had a real big problem with one of the changes, and that was me with those life potions, because I will always buy like 25. And that's an expensive habit, but that is Joe with underground access without having to go to the moon. Plumeria Knight not far behind. I think Joe is probably going to head straight down to the moon and see what is for sale.
Well, it's straight underground, yeah. Throw that magma key. Is gonna check, because we still need to find the Magus Sisters, because this is 4 objectives, but we need all of them for the crystal. This is not Magus Sisters, but Joe is waiting to see Plague. Okay, so we know Plague isn't around. Honestly, this is a pretty fast start. We've got both runners have their freebie objective down, the Mount Hobbs fight, and they are about to have magma key sub 10 minutes, each of them. So retracing steps a little bit, but basically like all on the right path. Fiery using a refund command. We don't have that. Refund machine broke.
Yeah, no refunds. This is my Valentine's Day gift to the runners. Something that doesn't take 3 hours on Restream.
That's a gift to us too. Like I can sit here and talk for 3 hours, but I don't know if I want to.
Yeah, my limit's about 2:15. And then I start getting hangry and grumpy, and nobody wants a hangry, grumpy Allie.
What was that? Samurai Bow and Antlion Cave on T-Pro. Allie, what did you do?
Well, I don't think Joe picked that up, so that Rosa is going to be significantly stronger on Plumeria's side.
Yeah, like most of the time you're aiming, but the main bonus here is the additional, like, I think it's 20 more weapon power. It's pretty good.
But looks like Joe is going to take this fight here in Baron N. Gonna have to eat through a lot of the extra HP, because I don't think Stardust is gonna do it. But once through that, one Stardust, assuming this Rydia lives, should take out the little bomblets, and Joe will have the key item from this location. But Plumeria saying, nope, I want to see what's underground.
Yeah, so the explode at this spot is like 100 damage. So I think, yeah, even if it high rolls, Rydia's safe as long as she's at full HP. That was Silk Webs in the Agard shop. Those are useful, and if you need to do something sort of fancy, it can really make a lot of fights safer. And you want at least one for Zeromas.
Yeah, I love taking Silk Webs to the moon, because sometimes you just get a boss up there and you're like, you are too fast, and no, you need to slow down and sniff the roses.
Especially on Sea Hero, because you're probably, like, unless you're running Cursed Ring, that's a package for Joe from Baron Inn. not necessarily required. But on Sea Hero, unless you're running a cursoring anchor, you're probably not necessarily at RA1 setups. And so Silk Webs are even better when you're not at RA1. Because going from like RA3 to RA6 is like a significant difference.
And for those who might not have heard RA1, 3, or 6 before, could you do a quick explanation of that?
Yeah, RA stands for Relative Agility. Basically, in this, so the vanilla game revolved around Cecil. That's a Sid at Mist. Goodbye. The vanilla game revolves around Cecil. In our randomizer, the anchor, at least on Sea Hero, is the hero. Basically, what happens is all the monsters and all of the characters have they look at their agility compared to the agility of the anchor character or the hero, and then say, well, the hero is relative agility 5, and everything else sort of scales up or down compared to that. And that just tells you how many ticks you get until your turn pops up. So if your character is more than 2.5 times the agility of the hero, then you are agility RA1, and so you go really fast. You get your turn every tick. That's Water Hag. Goodbye, Rydia. This is Water Hag at the Ashura spot, by the way. Free bosses are on, so we'll see if Plumeria can get through this.
Yeah, I think no, Young, no. Yeah,
Heroines are good, but they're not that good.
Yeah, Water Hag is very punchy, but Plumeria going to give it another shot. Might be hoping for a little bit better of a kind of a roll on who Water Hag decides to hit. That is an evil wall there at the Leviathan spot, though. That's kind of not great.
Yeah, you'd rather not. You'd really rather not.
So I'm sure everybody's hoping that the Darkness Crystal is behind that evil wall, because that would be the one thing Edward would be good for. And,
yeah, you're not. No.
Yeah. And Joe doing a little bit of a treasure check here. Hasn't done a lot of looting so far, so might be kind of gambling, seeing, hey, what can I pull from here?
Feymarch is okay. It's not an amazing loot spread, but it can do enough, and you can pull tier 6. So you could just get a Bahamut for free.
I mean, I like that exit item that we just got. I'm always good for a few exit items.
I mean, exit's good, but also we started with the Earth Crystals, so we could just do Zot and get exit on Rosa. I know people don't like doing the Tower of Zot, but it's not a bad play. And it's 2 boss checks. So it's actually 3 boss checks, because you spied the boss in the Golbez spot too.
And it's 2 characters, and you know what can be on this flag set? A Fu. A Fu could be on this flag set.
Oh, there are no... Yeah, I see. I am surprised that we haven't gone to Zot yet.
Yeah, I kind of am too. I think that Magma Key might have thrown a wrench into things a little bit. But Plumeria Knight heading back up, having set up Sheila 1, has not been to Fabul yet.
Okay, so that's not surprising. Do the Fabul check, do Sheila 1, and then maybe go to Zot, because you're right there, right? It's right next door.
Yeah, it's a real easy check. I think Plumeria might have been hoping for the triple. There's nothing nicer than doing all 3 checks at Fabul at once. It's my favorite thing.
It's my favorite thing too.
I will go out of my way to try to do it, which that doesn't make me a very good runner, but Rivers told me that single dipping Fabul was good.
I mean, Rivers is right about a lot of things. Okay, so Judge Joe went battle speed 6, has not damaged Water Hag yet. Oh, that miss is so bad.
Rosa, please. Yeah, maybe the Silver Staff isn't the best thing for her right now.
Oh, and so that's really funny because the Silver Staff doesn't have amazing accuracy. Rosa can't aim with the staff, so yeah, that explains that. Unfortunate.
Yeah, but Joe, looking to be given it another try. This could be something big if this is your moon access. If this gives you another key item, and Plumeria only getting a protect ring from Sheila 1. Which with that heroine robe might be enough to take a hit from Water Hag if you want to go all the way back down there.
So you would put Rosa in center slot so that she gets the evade bonus. Heroine protect ring is honest. No. I don't think at these HP levels you need to get lucky. You would need to just get very lucky. Judge Joe has got lucky before, but I don't think this is the place where you should. 19 minutes is not the time to be doing this.
Definitely not. But Joe going to use that exit item, and looks like Plumeria might be heading up to. Well, first of all, to Agert. Agert has always given good things.
Silvera, I think, finds poison arrows.
Silvera, yes, the one where you have all the bushes that give you curse rings.
Sometimes. we'll see if Plumeria checks them. Should we tell Elvin the bad news?
Yeah, we saw Sid. It's behind the package, and I love Sid as well, but you're not doing the package for a Sid at 19 minutes in.
Sorry, Elvin.
But you could find another Sid up on the tower, and Sid's a great character for this flag set. You could find 2 Sids up on the tower. You only get 1, but you could find 2.
Yeah, we're at 4 characters of the 7 in the seed, so it's possible Sid is just the answer. If we find some anchoring for Yang, then Sid is perfectly acceptable.
And Joe heading into Dwarf Castle. I'm curious to see if he tries to take anything on. Does find vampires. That's actually a pretty good hit here because they don't miss unless you're trying to hit very specific bosses. And that little bit of healing could be enough to get through some of the easier bosses.
So speaking of easy bosses, this Valvalis doesn't get any defense or anything. So it's fine. You just need to not die to weak.
Yeah. Valvalis kind of rolled sad here. There are some places where you would see this Valvalis and just go, no thank you, I'd really rather not. But this, I see Plumeria Knight having no issues. That Rosa with Samurai mute arrows, although I think he bought some poison arrows.
It might have been charms. But I think, to be fair, Rosa, with this particular setup, basically negates Valvalis in any early game spot just because of aim. Oh no. Now this, on the other hand, this is very funny. Allie, question.
Yes.
Have we seen Starveils?
Yes.
Ooh. Has Plumeria seen Starveils? Because I don't recall that.
I think they were in the shop in actual Agart.
There we go. I thought those were silk webs.
No, we've seen silk webs, but we also saw star veils. They just might not have been in Agart, but I know we have seen them, and they are required up on the Earth somewhere.
Plumeria doesn't have any.
Yeah, Plumeria is about to have a real bad time, but maybe.
Okay, that is a lot of damage. Rosa needs to not get blasted with virus here.
Yang's helping.
That is a perfect target.
Yang's helping.
Okay, Plumeria should be free. There we go. Yeah, Plumeria's through that fight. Well done. Knew that. Okay, so coming back to anchoring, right? Yang is at this point, I think, a little bit faster than Golbez at this spot. But Rosa with the heroine robe is a lot faster than Yang. And so Rosa's probably RA1, maybe RA2. I think RA1. And Golbez was probably RA5. So Rosa was able to get turns a lot more efficiently than Golbez was. And that's why that fight really, it seemed scary. And if Plumeria hadn't done the heads up thing of knock Yang out before Shadow got to eat things, that could have been a lot worse. But Rosa didn't fall down, so it was fun.
And Rosa's still hitting things with a staff on Judge Joe's side, where Plumeria's Yang is about to face his inner demons and hopefully give us another key item.
I mean, it's not a key item, but it's not bad. You don't hate that.
Well, that's a DKC hanging out there. We're facing our demons literally today. But yeah, 3 hits, he's done, and you go on your merry way.
Yeah, that's 2 scoops of vanilla if you're counting. I'm not counting.
I really want my ice cream in the fridge.
I also have vanilla ice cream. Is it in the fridge or the freezer, Allie?
Oh, it's in the freezer. I have.
Okay, I was worried.
I have red velvet cake blizzard from Dairy Queen in the freezer, which I was going to eat earlier, but it was melty. The guy gave me extra because it was Valentine's Day.
No. So, okay. Here is... Okay, Plumeria is making up time on Judge Joe. Sort of. Okay. Spicy. Very interesting. Plumeria made it through these fights. His Rosa doing a lot of damage, right? That samurai bow really paying off. Judge Joe does not have a bow. He didn't even shop for the archer bow, I think. Joe is heading down the mountain, just peacing out, which means he leaves ordeals before Plumeria does, but without the pass. So we'll see if that comes back to haunt him. It might not. If we find the Maga Sisters either on the moon or before we get to the moon, then the pass really doesn't matter. That's funny. Oh yeah, Joe doesn't have a bow for Rosa. Picks up an archer bow. All right.
The bushes in Silvera giveth. I have never been disappointed by those bushes in my life.
Incredible. All right, so Plumeria heading back to is going to Zot. So here is the Zot play with the starting Earth Crystal.
Yeah, Plumeria is probably thinking, okay, let's not with the 3 characters, whereas Joe, that's Joe's thing.
I mean, you gave Joe a white mage, so there you go. Ooh, we found Star Veils. There they are. They are in Kaipo.
And Plumeria Knight finding the Flame Dog up here. Let's see if we get something a little nice for our casters. Bahamut Orb would be great. Some Artemis arrows would be good. I wouldn't sneeze at a Silent Staff.
Silent Staff could be nice. Nice little stat stick. What's interesting about the changes, again, we're on the 4.6 beta. This chest used to be, like, even on T Pro, you could roll tier 8s. So, like, adamants aren't on this flag set, but you could roll crystal swords, I guess. Can confirm, have rolled crystal swords here. That is no longer the case on 4.6. So the treasure settings have been sort of tamed a little bit for monsters or monster boxes that aren't on the moon. However, that does sort of lead us to maybe have hoped to get a Bahamut Orb, which we still don't have. Rydia is still just throwing the Stardust Rod, hoping it works.
I mean, there is always Eblin.
There is always Eblin. So Judge Joe has used Toad on Yang and Rydia so that all of his characters are now immune to the Paralyze, the Hold Gas. So hopefully he can just life up the third character and go from there. Great targeting.
Yep, now you don't even have to life up the third character because, well, Yang always gets experience whether or not you want him to.
Meanwhile, Yang throwing a Cure 2 for 320 damage, and Rosa aiming with white arrows for, well, that hit was only 2,800, but it was over 3,200. Pretty good.
Yeah, the Cure Potion's actually taking up more time than just letting Rosa aim at things.
Let Rosa aim things. That doesn't work quite as well.
And using the white arrows to great effect, I can never remember what those will work on, so I try to kill things with them that are like, haha, that's funny.
Yeah, so the white arrows are holy, but in particular, they do quad damage against undead monsters. So Mylon Zed, in particular, is undead, but it's an arrow, so it also hits flying enemies for double damage. So Mylon Zed actually gets hit for 8 times damage by the white arrows.
Well, and we just saw something a little interesting at that Dwarf Castle 2 spot. That is an alt gauntlet.
Ooh, heck dwarf, never. Peace out.
See, we found a Sid.
And there's no choice to get rid of him on these flags. So Sid joins the team.
I mean, technically, if you found a Fu and a Edge or maybe a Cecil, you could throw him off the tower, but I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, same. More exciting is this Odin. This spot is rude. This is a gross fight. Except for the fact that we have Harrow and Rosa with lit arrows. So this fight is actually pretty free. It's just a little bit scary.
Yeah, if we didn't have that Rosa, this Zentetsuken will do max damage because this spot has more magic damage than it should because, well, in the vanilla game they wanted Val to actually hit with the different spells. And yeah, that translates into some meanness.
So Aaron Lore brings up that Thunder Claws do exist, and yes, Thunder Claws do exist, but they're only equipable right now on your anchor. And so this spot is actually pretty fast. So you'd have to hopefully, get some Berserk and get some good rolls. Young probably could take care of it, but it's a lot lot more spicy, let's say. Unfortunately, only a Dragoon Spear reward for that. So we got Sid and a Dragoon Spear for not that much.
Now, we'll see if it looks like Plumeria Knight's saving up, gonna take on this Mom Bomb again, gonna get the package. Now, the package presents a very interesting idea. As in, we're looking for the Magus sisters.
I can't see them actually checking packages.
Oh,
early.
no, either can I. But they could be there.
Oh, they could be there, yeah. We could 34 out of 34 of the bosses.
I would be checking that before the giant, because there is nothing worse than giant sisters, just because that is a lot of HP to chew through.
Oh, yeah, that is true, isn't it? Our tracker mentioning that Allie is speaking Magus Sisters set elements into existence.
What is that? Like 120,000 health?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
But Joe also taking a very similar path to Plumeria, so not going to be losing time just based on our runners' routing. Both these runners are... Oh, go ahead.
I'm a little bit concerned about Judge Joe's Zot fights here. I don't remember if he found the Thunderclaw or the lit arrows. And he has like an archer bow, but like, we'll see.
Yeah, the Thunderclaw was for sale in Mist, and I don't think Joe went to Mist, and I don't think he will be going to Mist because he has the package now.
So interesting strategy. I like this. I like this from Judge Joe. In lieu of having the white arrows, he can just chuck Cure 3 potions. They're good offense-ish.
They're a very expensive offense, though.
I mean, they're better on undeads than vampires, I guess.
Yeah, but that's 3K a pop.
Vampires are more expensive. No, this is it's a way to get through the fight, and I think it's Judge Joe's best way to get through the fight, but there's like this isn't your preferred way to get through this fight.
And Plumeria remembering, oh wait, I didn't check Waterfall. That would be bad.
Is bailed out though. It is only Plague.
Plague, definitely one of those bosses you would like to see other than, say, an Ogopogo or a Wyvern. Because both of those things are going to hurt real bad. Unless Wyvern's at the top of the tower, at which point then it might hurt real bad, but probably not.
Yeah, but probably not. So speaking of tower, Plumeria Knight heading up Lower Babel. Opening boxes, so I guess is looking for the alert chests. We'll see what he finds. Just a couple grimoires so far in the Rune Axe, but Rune Axe is good, but you got Mute Arrows, Heroin Rosa, so you probably don't care too much.
But we do have that Sid, and Sid needs a weapon.
That's true. Better than the Wooden Hammer, that's for sure. Looks like he's stopped opening boxes, so we'll just see what's at the Luge spot.
And that makes sense. A lot of the rest of these boxes are pretty out of the way. And if this is something, you don't want to have walked all the way up here and then want to reset.
Okay, so Judge Joe throwing Berserk on Rosa. Makes sense. Lit ones with Rydia. Young punching. We'll see how much damage. Okay, that's a Power Staff bonk. Not what you want, but is already at 1400 damage. Ooh, that's an Ice Claw.
Yang is helping.
Alright, so this is going to be...
It's going to be close.
I think it's close, but it's also probably fine. 3 scoops of vanilla.
Lugae at Lugae's spot actually might be kind of interesting.
It's slow. Okay. Judge Joe's through. That was a little bit spicy, but is through. Those vampires coming in clutch. I don't know. What do you think about Lugae at Lugae, Allie?
I've had a really bad Lugae fight at this exact spot before where I learned that certain things could be reflected, so I've learned not to underestimate Lugae at Lugae.
Ah, okay. That's fair. And this spot does punch kind of hard. So the first phase is, I would say it's a little bit more dangerous. It turns out a Star Veil completely negates the second phase. Beam and laser and the emission, I think, are all reflectable or negatable somehow, which is kind of funny, actually.
And Dakar Smash in chat pointing out the lit arrows are going to be useful again, and Rosa now has Berserk, so can start berserking herself and conserving that last arrow.
Yeah, so Balnab and then the second form of Lugae are machine type monsters, so that's why the lit arrows do extra damage. Don't bother trying to cast lit. It doesn't actually do anything. Nothing, like, no improvement on damage from that. All right, incoming Balnab Z. Embrace the ball. Balnab Z. Ugh. Balnab Z.
I was going to say, that was a little weird coming from you.
Yeah. Balnab Z. Sounds completely wrong, but here we are.
But Balnab Z, kind of angry, still not a machine, even though he's literally sitting in a machine.
I don't ask questions.
Yeah. Resistances and weaknesses in Free Enterprise and Final Fantasy IV Vanilla are wild.
The devs made choices.
And we can't even blame it on, oh, well, you wouldn't have that character here, because you would. Also, that Berserk. Sad, no Berserk noises.
Yeah, so, fun story about this. The messages that happen here are chained. And so, because monsters that chain things get to cheat a little bit, they has a chonky laser. Anyway, so actions that get chained by enemies don't, like, they stop the ATB while they're going. And so what the issue that happens is that the chain starts when the monster, like, sets that timer. It starts the chain, stops everything else, then goes through the whole chain. And so you don't actually have, like, 2 ticks or whatever that you normally need to get a Berserk cast off. You actually have a little bit less. And so that's why the Berserk didn't go off in time. We also see that gas is kind of unfortunate, but Plumeri Knightus through gets an Avenger. That's pretty good. Not for the party we have, though.
Yeah, if we ever get a Kane or a Cecil, this will be great, but we have neither of those things.
Yeah, who are those characters?
Just the people we've been getting nothing but equipment for since the beginning of the game, it feels like. Oh, and that Edge that we don't have either.
So Judge Joe also not getting Berserk off in time. I would say unfortunate, but you kind of knew that was happening.
Start a chain. I'll start a chain you, evil wall.
Arr, grumble, grumble. Yeah, so, other fun story. Sid's wooden hammer also gets the 4 times multiplier. So Sid is going to put in some work for Judge Joe here.
Getting rewarded for still having that base wooden hammer on that poor Sid.
Ooh, and chonky laser, but tanked it again. I actually think, I think Judge Joe's Sid was out damaging Plumeria Knight's Sid, even with the Runax difference. Very funny. Ooh, Sid living.
But yeah, that really, really tanky laser can be terrifying in some places because I'm somewhat convinced. I think it's HP based.
It is HP based, yeah. It's like 1/5 of the boss's current HP, which means that like even though the Luge spot has like split HP, it can be a lot.
Especially when the average HP of your party is like 700. But we find Dark Imps here in the first spot. Gets a charm off. Yay.
Hey, nice toad. All right, so this should be 3 more arrows. Call it good.
And then we all know that this is going immediately into an alt gauntlet.
So it is the alt gauntlet. So I don't really know what Plumeria Knight's strategy is, unless he's hoping. Ooh, so fun story. Again, a new beta change. Dwarf Castle can give Rydia Bahamut. Bahamut is now one of the possible spells. And so we could get, I think I did the calculation. It's like 40%, like to get at least one of Leviathan or Bahamut. It might be higher. It's like a really probable outcome to get some big AoE damage here. It could also give Kain as the character. That is true. We'll find out.
I hope it's another Rydia.
I only saw Titan and Mage. I didn't see if she got Leviathan or Bahamut.
I only saw Jin and Titan, so...
Go into the menu. Go into the menu. Oh no, Shiva, Mage, Sylph, Jin, Titan.
I mean, Sylph's got uses.
Okay, like, Titan is fine. It's perfectly acceptable. It's just not the best.
Yeah, when you're hoping for something a little bit bigger with a hit, yeah. And would you like to fight more Dark Imps?
They're back. That's actually very funny. So Plumeria decided, game didn't give me the summons, I will throw my own summons with like 3 grimoires. I think he realized he had enough enough like AoE to manage it. His Rydia also has virus, and so that's mostly good enough. Meanwhile, what do we see on Judge Joe's screen?
We see the other blue robe. This is a water hag, kind of a boss that Judge Joe's been throwing himself at for a while now. We'll see. That's a chocobo. We'll see if that kind of brings something necessary, or if our progression is behind this this alt gauntlet.
Yeah, we've kind of done. Ooh, wait. We still have Seal Cave, right? I don't remember where our runners got the Luca key, but they have it.
It was early. Wasn't Fabul because that was the spoon. Oh, it was the free check and Fey merch. Thank you to
There we
Rydia
go.
Caller, our tracker tonight.
So that is interesting. Also, I completely blanked on what Judge Joe got out of that check.
Artemis arrows.
Yes. I mean, have we seen any of the dragon type monsters? I don't think so.
No.
Who knows? Maybe we'll see vanilla D-Lunars. It'll be fine. Maybe we'll see. No, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
I mean, I'm always here for wishing awful things on the runners, but Judge Joe gonna go ahead down into the sealed cave. Could be our Magus sisters.
Could also be the darkness crystal. This is sort of slow, but we do have a warp caster to get us out of there, so it's okay. Plumeria Knight got the rat tail out of Dwarf Castle, but we don't have the hook, so that isn't. We know that isn't currently our progression. Judge Joe doing a little bit of looting. Seal Cave has some okay stuff, but I guess it's mostly just stuff you see along the way.
I mean, a ninja shirt if you find a ninja or if you need some money.
Yeah, ninja shirt's pretty good. Like, Sork robe on the other hand, we'd love that for Rydia right now.
Yeah, only having a black shirt right now, while the black shirt has been fixed and now actually gives the correct stat, Sork robe still gives more. And
well, it gives the willpower bonus as well. It's just it's so much tankier. Like, it's the same wisdom boost, but it's so much tankier and gives lightning resistance and undead resistance. It's really good. It's a good piece of gear.
But we'll see. Here's Joe heading into the crystal room. Is there anything of actual value? That's a tower key. That is a chain. You have to walk that out.
Yeah, I think you have to walk that out. I don't know if Judge Joe will want to walk it out after he sees who this boss is, but that's fine. Mostly.
It's going to be fast. That antlion's got things to do, places to be, sand rubies to eat.
So here's where the silk web, really you're just trying to make the spot a little bit slower. Going from RA1 to RA2 and making the like action timer 2 ticks instead of 1 tick, gonna let Rosa get some hits in.
But we see Plumeria directly behind, has a little bit more damage output on that Rosa and Sid, so we'll see. Joe came into this a little bit faster, but I'm curious to see kind of what their difference is when they walk out of here.
I'm convinced that if Plumeria... I'm surprised he's not going Zerking. Okay, okay. So Plumeria also has Virus and Titan. So his Rydia is going to do damage. Chocobo for Judge Joe, 50 damage, calling it. Wow, okay, 300 is like not bad. Compared to 2200 for Plumeria's Rydia. What's interesting, I think, is that Plumeria's Rydia is doing a lot more, but he took a while to get Rosa going with Berserk. So we'll see how this ends up.
Yep. But yeah, that antlion's still a little bit punchier than any of us would probably like it to be. But based on the spots we have left, antlion here is probably best case scenario.
You'd rather see antlion here than on the moon, probably, maybe.
Antlion at the crystal sword spot is a
punchy.
Is a circle of suffering that I don't even wish on these runners.
Rip Sid for Plumeria fell down right before Sylph. Judge Joe threw the fight. Well executed all around, just did what he needed to do to get through that fight.
Yep. It was about 52-50, maybe-ish.
Yeah.
So.
I forget when he entered the fight, but it was a couple minutes. I think all things considered, about like Plumeria should be through the fight after whatever spell Rydia casts here. And so it's pretty even.
Y'all leave that Sid alone. Sylph, and the Sylph glitch is on and is through that fight, just 5 seconds behind Judge Joe.
Yeah, but entered the fight a little bit later too. So I think all things considered, a little bit of a wash. Except, well, hold on. Oh yeah. So they both done top of tower. Judge Joe heading to the tower key because, of course, none of us want anything to do with that evil wall at Leviathan.
Or the alt gauntlet at Dwarf Castle in the case of Joe.
That is true. Has Joe... So Joe has the Sid and did not do package, therefore, yeah, Joe did Zot. So knows it's the alt gauntlet, doesn't want anything to do with it. That makes sense. I mean, yeah, there's no guarantee of good AoE, so I'm not surprised that he's fading in entirely.
Yeah, and it's a long check. Even if you check the first boss and you see it's not what you're looking for, that's something you want to come back to. Although I might do it before the evil wall.
Yeah, in terms of hierarchy, I'm pretty sure evil wall is the last possible thing. I guess we're about to see if the last possible thing is the required thing.
Yeah, because there is nothing
There's
left.
nothing left. For reference, folks, K Unsafe only says your underground could be through the moon. It says there's nothing else that protects you against, your progression being locked at Evil Wall at Leviathan. Like, B Unsafe doesn't say anything like that. K Unsafe doesn't say anything like that. You just have to do it. So, good luck.
Hey, we gave the runners away underground. If they really wanted to, they could go on that little teeny tiny peninsula and try to spike a yellow dragon egg.
And then another one, and another one.
But we see here, that is the darkness crystal.
Bailed out.
And Joe heading to Dwarf Castle. I am guessing this is a very quick boss check in the first spot.
This is absolutely a boss check.
Because you do not want to go to the moon and then find out what you need is still underground. You know where else would be a really terrible place for the Magus sisters to be?
Thinking. Package.
Well, that too. Now, that Massa spot is sneakily a very bad spot for the sisters.
Oh, yeah, no. It's not even sneaky. Like, the spot has a ton of physical damage and then also blasts you with very high power magic. It has one of the highest spell powers. It has one of the, I think it might be the highest spell power in the entire game. So, like, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those places you never want to see the Magus sisters and you never want to see Rubicant.
I mean, Rubicant, well, The fire 2 is a problem for Rubricant there. Glare is like it was gonna kill you no matter what. The fire 2 is what hurts you at that spot.
Yeah, especially if you don't realize that the fire 2 is terrible and you zerk up 3 people.
Oh no. Yeah.
But did you know that Edge,
so much damage.
you can resurrect everybody with Edge with Flame?
Aha! Yes, was it flame? Let me show you how. And actually, it doesn't even. You don't even need edge. It could be like, our
Yep.
runners could use radio with like fire too. If you did, Jin probably procs that counter.
This sounds like it requires more experimentation.
If we get to see someone cast Jin in order to get a full party life on this stream, well, that would be a thing.
But Judge Joe finding cabins, very exciting.
Very exciting.
Cabins are my third favorite item in the game.
Behind life potions and
Bacchus wines.
Ah, yes.
And we will not be seeing any of those today. Because that is behind Kokel's Forge. We have no pieces, and it's a weapon for Yang anyway that you don't want. Nobody's going down there for a shop.
Hey, Allie, question. Where are the characters?
Well, I think one of them must be behind Giant, and one of them must be on Baron. And one of them is under the Sand Ruby.
Or I guess on the hook rat, right?
Oh yeah, the hook rat. I forgot about that.
So Judge Joe, 59, almost an hour in, heading down the LST, gonna clear out some objectives.
Well, that's a no.
And we'll be doing that with 4 characters. Plumeria has found Edward in the Kaipo bed and will not be returning to use the Sand Ruby.
Yeah, even if you had to do the package route, you're not picking up that Edward.
No.
There are situation and flag sets where Edward is great and brilliant, and the evil wall at Leviathan was the only thing that could have done that, and unless he has exactly the Baron key and it's blocking the Magnus Sisters, we don't care. That evil wall is irrelevant.
Yeah, that is the last thing our runners do in the whole seed, I think.
But Joe has gotten all the way down to the bottom of the Lunar Subterrane. I'm guessing we are going to see a ribbon room and Maza altar real quick. Because let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 key items. Yeah, you're not trying to get to 10 before you hit that ribbon room.
Yeah, I don't even think Plumeria tries. Like, Plumeria's at 8 key items. I don't think it's worth it. Well, that's advantage Judge Joe, I guess.
Would you like to hear the slow sound 700 times? Because we're going to hear the slow sound 700 times. Well, except for that. That Rosa is a little bit angry, so we might only hear it 600 times.
So I'm looking at Plumeria's inventory. I do not see Artemis arrows. Plumeria didn't go back for Water Hag, did he?
No, has not been back to the Feymarch.
So. This is a big advantage for Judge Joe.
Yeah, because the amount of damage that this Rosa is putting out is so significant based on our compared to what Plumeria's Rose is going to be putting out. This fight will probably take 2 to 3 times longer.
I almost wonder if Plumeria will at 8 key items. Oh, he's doing Mura Altar. This is a boss check, I think.
Yeah, he might. Oh,
Monster box check. Ooh. Hold on. That's a. Excuse me. That's the vanilla fight, right?
Yeah, that is the vanilla fight and the vanilla location.
Very funny.
That is the only monster box that I remember the location of because I forgot it once in 2v2 and then Joe fussed at me.
Oof.
Well, not fussed at me, but he was like, yeah, you missed the one monster box up on the moon that had progression. I was like, no, I didn't. I did all the ones all the way down to the lunar subterrane. Forgetting about this one.
Yeah. So the Ribbon Room gave a second Avenger and the Sand Ruby. And I don't think Judge Joe has peaked the Kaipo bed.
I don't think so either, but Joe is known for taking 4-party Zeromus fights. Very comfortable with it. Very well versed in Magus Sisters in terrible locations.
Yeah, so he's just going. Let's see what the Masa Altar is. That was not a delay. It is Mylon and Friends. It turns out that the lit ones actually hurt a little bit if you don't have any like MDef. But realistically, this fight is free.
Yep, all you gotta do is make sure that the ghasts are dead before Mylon dies, because we will have, they will make you their very bloody Valentine. But we see Plumeria Knight taking out that monster box. Let's see if he's actually rewarded with something this party can use.
Technically, yes.
I mean, it's nothing to sneeze at.
Like the white shirt is a very good piece of defensive gear.
Now, was it worth that long fight? We have to see what we've got to take on next.
Realistically, the experience is helpful. Plumeria guessing that he will find something like Paladin here by putting float on his characters so that Rydia can actually do damage. We know Paladin's not here, but we'll see what happens.
Is there anything else that you would want float for?
I don't think so. Like, not at this spot. If you're in the Feymarch fighting an alt gauntlet, you want float for the Arachnes.
Also, this is going to be interesting without any good sweeper abilities.
Hold on. Let me check my spreadsheet because Plumeria has Titan.
Oh, that's right. Plumeria
also has Toad. No, it missed.
Because there is the awful thing where you get into a circle of the dolls can't kill you, but you can't kill the dolls, and they keep changing into Calbrena, and then you keep fighting the dolls. And it's awful.
Yeah, so I think I agree with Plumeria's strategy right now, though. The back dolls have 3k, just over 3k HP, and I don't think Rydia can take them out with Titan. So instead, he's using the fact that the back dolls don't have any boss bit. So You can toad them. You can do a couple different things. Toad's really good because that means they cannot transform into the big doll Calbrina. So I think he's just gonna. Okay, he's gonna cast Virus, but you could probably put the controller down and let Rosa go pew pew for a little bit.
Now, if my memory serves me correct, can they also be hit by Odin?
Probably. Radiant doesn't have it, but if you did have it, you could. I think you can do that. Yeah.
I seem to remember a terrible, probably Fabul Gauntlet seed where rolling an Odin from a grimoire and getting it to hit was required for getting through the hook route.
That's awful. Also, Judge Shows Young just took 700 from Lit 1. Amazing.
And only samurai arrows, not what you're looking for.
No, the XP, it's not even good XP because of a split. It is a damage upgrade for Plumeria's Rosa, but he's going to be very disappointed that it wasn't Artemis arrows.
But Joe getting through, just a glass hat. But he is in basically just looking for some Magus sisters. But we know we still don't have access to the hook route or to Baron or the harp.
Yeah, all sorts of bosses still on the table. Who knows? Maybe they could be on the giant. We don't know yet. So Judge Joe is going to... We'll see what he does. I would expect a warp cast and then head over to Crystal Sword Altar, but he's not doing that. Okay.
Hasn't done White Spear Altar yet.
Hasn't done White Spear Altar. Yeah, that's true. So probably gonna... I don't know if he will check everything or like go through the fights. Like, I don't know if these are going to be boss peaks or actually do the fights.
Yeah, that's a really hard one because you know there's so many key items gating bosses, but if it's up here on the moon and you can just find it, and Plumeria gonna go ahead and do the Demarine play and heading to the Crystal Sword Altar.
Well, it's not the full Demarine.
Yeah,
right?
not the full Demarine.
This is top down. This is top down.
I'm gonna call it the half Demarine.
The half Demarine.
Oh,
no!
But there is
Here
the
it is.
Magus sisters.
Wow, top down did not pay off.
But yeah, how do you beat Zeromus with this party?
You grind.
With what?
Random encounters.
Yeah, I was afraid you were going to say that.
Okay. In all seriousness, let's remember that the crystal, which Judge Joe will get after this fight, counts as a key item. So after this, Judge Joe is at, depending on what the spot gives, he might be at 10 key items. And then maybe you just do the giant.
Yeah, I guess. Do we have what we need for a Mac Giant grind?
Charm Arrows, Blinkcaster.
Yeah, we've got everything
Stop.
we need.
You have a stop caster.
We have a grind. There are Charm Arrows and an Earth Hammer in the seed. I didn't see what he got. Did he get a key item?
We haven't seen it yet.
Oh yeah, Order of Opera.
Oh, it's the Bearing Key. That's 10 key items. All right, Judge Joe, what are you gonna do? What's the plan?
And Joe, the correct answer is not to go to Zeromus with this party.
But it's Judge Joe. Like, seriously, do you expect him to do anything but go straight to Zeromus? 21 agility Young. Don't do it, dude. Okay, he's not. All right.
Oh, thank heavens. Oh no,
monster boxes though. Let's go.
Yeah, he's gonna go. He's gonna go look for Bimmy and Jimmy and Behemoth
Jimmy and
friends.
Jimmy, yeah. I honestly, with Artemis, Arrows, Rosa, this is not a bad play. Behemoth is not what he wants to see, probably, but here we are.
So, funny story about when Judge Joe and I were 2v2 partners, and I went to the moon because I always ended up going to the moon first. And I had a party very similar to this, but they were all base level. I think Rosa had like. And I was trying to kill a behemoth with a base level radio with a dragon whip, and he kept hearing me ask, "So, how much HP do these things have again?" For 13 minutes.
16,000. Also, hilariously, while Plumeria Knight is behind a little bit, I think, he did just find Artemis arrows from the Crystal Sword altar. And so the Ribbon Room will not be the pain in the butt that it's possible it could have been. So Plumeria is about to be in go mode pretty quickly. But we'll see at this point, right? Plumeria is going to clean up these bosses, these 3 checks, and then the question is, what is his grind option? Because the efficiency of the grind, and the choice of Zroma's strategy, will determine who wins this race.
And Plumeria's got a little bit of a head start on that grind. Has just taken more battles with this party. Took that alt gauntlet.
I took the monster box chest check a little bit earlier, yeah.
And that one has significantly more XP, I think, than this one.
It's pretty equivalent. Judge Joe's going to get the 10 key item bonus, so the behemoths give a fair amount, but definitely earlier rather than now.
And I'm trying to remember. I'm counting again on stream. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What did we get from the Masa altar?
Nothing, but you get the crystal, and then the Magus Sisters give the bearing key.
So he'll have 10 key items before he goes to the Magus Sisters. It's not great XP, but it helps.
You know, Magus Sister, ooh, it's the wrong altar for that. If it had been the Ribbon Room, Magus Sisters grind would be very funny at 10 key items, but not at the White Spear altar. I like the way you think, though. This is a good out of the box strategy.
You got to do that with some of these clubs. Less so with this one than, say, yours or Xenocat's.
Yeah,
but,
I know.
But still, sometimes your best grind option is to turn encounters on and hate everything that's happened in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, so Plumeria, I think, actually got through that fight faster, thanks to those Artemis arrows and extra levels. So that's 2 objectives for Plumeria Knight. Probably heading over to Masa Altar next, and then we'll clean up at White Spear Altar. Judge Joe got Cure 4 on Rosa and is exiting out of the moon. That's the grind. A single behemoth. Oh boy.
Well, I have a visitor that has come to watch the end of Joe's grind. Dexter has joined me. He's such a good boy.
Is Dexter your kitty cat?
No, Dexter is my parents' dog.
Aw. Also cute.
Yeah, they're out of town tonight, so he is my commentary, but he has decided that something else is more interesting. But Plumeria's at this is a series of events.
Yeah, it's, I guess, like, you still need to fight the Magus Sisters. I think It's fine that he's doing this first. It's not a huge deal.
Well, that gives him 10 for
Mylon and friends, though. It's not a significant boost in experience. It means he won't be able to do a fun Magus Sisters grind, or even just an accidental Magus Sisters grind.
I mean, he hasn't finished the fight yet. Oh, honey. Oh, bless.
So, fun story. Judge Joe said, I have a crystal sword from that behemoth. Because, of course, it dropped a crystal sword from the monster box. But the Sand Ruby did not give the character he was interested in. He almost took Edward.
And tried to give him a Cure 3 and then said no.
I see. Well, we're going 1200 strats. That's fair. Judge Joe has 3 characters over 1200 hit points. Just do 1200 strats. Call it a day.
But those are so boring.
Kaipo had veils and antidotes. So I think he's just going back for Cure 3 potions and then calling it a day. I honestly, this is probably the correct play. It doesn't matter how bad your party is. You could just do 1200 HP strats. He had so much money that he can buy vampires. So he's got vampires, antidotes for after you hit the phase tip threshold, and more veils than you really need. So he's just going to do... Rydia's going to fall down. That's okay. And then the other 3 will do... we'll do what's going on.
But I don't like 1200 strats.
You know what? Me neither, but they are strategies that you can use to win the game. And so that's what's going to happen here. Good question. So Yang's agility at level 41 is... I will pull up the page that I was looking at.
I think I saw 23, but that could have been a
It is
typo.
23, yes. That's not good.
That's a number that exists.
You would much rather, honestly, you would rather have found a cat claw so that it could be at least RA2. I think, like, the fact that Rosa has heroin helps, but Sid is slower. I don't know the strategy here. I think this is going to be a very sketchy fight. Like, one of the sketchiest fights I've seen in a long time, and I'm here for it.
It can either go fantastically right, or he could just be handing time to Plumeria to catch up.
We'll see. Also, what? I'm so confused. Where are the chat is like wide awake or something? No one's sleeping on the job. Something Z flag something. Can't. We found a lot of vanilla bosses, but Zeromus is always vanilla. We can't change where he is, but we can change what he looks like. And so, Decorous Smash, you will learn something today, and that something is, whose butt are we gonna kick tonight?
And does it have multiple hats on multiple limbs?
Aaron Lord confirming that no one has finished so far. So Judge Joe is going all in. This could be the winning play. We will find out. That's awful. Rosa just took 500 damage for Plumeria. Not what you want to see. Probably has to re-equip arrows. That's Draximus. Ellie, do you know?
No. Chat.
Help.
Help. But the most important question is, will it be my Valentine?
I don't know, Allie. Will it be your Valentine?
Well, I said you would all be my Valentines, so I think Draximus is included.
I thought you were talking to chat, but all right. That's fair. Oh, so okay. Other fun story. I once asked about low-level strats for Zeromus because I wanted to improve my free enterprise skills. And once upon a time, one of our past runners, Dia, came up with a very interesting strategy. You can beat Zeromus with like 5 Palums, all of whom have like, 1400 HP. And basically, it's the same thing that you're doing here. You throw up Veils and then you just chuck Virus. Virus is going to do like 1500 to 2000 damage. And then you get the counter nuke damage too. So you actually do pretty well. This fight looks like Yang, Sid, and Rosa throwing vampires for a bit, and Rydia's just going to chuck Virus. That's honestly pretty okay. All of these are instant actions, and so you're not really bleeding ticks by doing this. It's just a question of like making sure your Veils don't run out.
And speaking of things running out, on Plumeria Knight's side, Rosa dying did get rid of that last arrow, so she is now punching things when she's able to come back to life.
Oof. I mean, we have some Sammy arrows. That'll be good. Move on to samurai arrows now.
Also, I have still not yet figured out what Draximus is from. Apparently, either can run lore.
Perfect. It's fine. This complete mystery Zeromus Sprite. Curio suggesting it's from a Super Nintendo game called Wolf Child. Maybe. Hey Plumeria, can you throw a silk web? I think that would help. Not a silk web, a star veil. The other S V sound. Ooh, that was not nerfed. Oh boy.
Oh, this is sketchy.
And that's a reset for Plumeria. Oh boy.
Oh no.
Folks, we're in spaghetti mode. It's not the Mom Spaghetti Club, but we're in we've got some fights going on stream that you probably don't want to normally be doing.
Yeah, this is, I think with the black hole coming out when it did, I think Judge Joe's going to be able to get back hold of this, but Plumeria Knight losing a ton of time, just kind of got into a loop with resurrecting that Rosa and then her going back down. And yeah, we talked about those lit ones. Those are pretty powerful and painful. And was that another unnerfed Big Bang, or was that a nerfed Big Bang?
It absolutely was unnerfed. And this virus is going to do a non-trivial amount. Does not wipe the party. Oh boy, Yang tanking with 14 HP. What's the strategy here? I think when it's virus black hole, I think there's an extra turn. So Judge Joe might be able to get Veils up on a couple of characters here. But Zeromus is super speedy right now, and his characters are not. So I'm concerned. Need to get the veils up though. Yeah.
And Plumeria Knight taking back down the gas, but back into trying to take down this Mylon.
Yeah, I was okay. So you want other technical things to think about. In the Zeromus fight, sometimes it's not clear how many ticks have gone by, but you can watch the HP drain from the sap, right? It's like a couple of HP per tick ish, sort of. And so you can sort of see, well, you just lost 8 HP, and that's about the amount of HP that you're gonna get blasted with. There's a big bang coming very soon, if you're watching that. So Judge Joe's characters just aren't fast enough to really handle it.
Well, and having 4 characters probably is really not helping either.
Yeah, 1200 strats are a lot more effective when you have a good agility setup. I saw that question in the chat, Aaron Lore. We'll get to that. When you have a good agility setup and you have more characters to buffer ticks. For reference, the 23 agility is bad because Zeromus right now is relative agility 1, because Zeromus has 69 speed. Whereas most of Judge Joe's characters are Yang is the hero is RA 5, and then Sid is probably RA 6, and then Rose is probably RA 3 maybe, and then we're not even worrying about what Rydia is at. And so Zeromus is just doing laps around us, even with the Silk Web.
Yeah, this is not ideal. Another big bang coming out. Unfortunately, that Rosa's still very low and running out of Cure 3s very quickly.
And normally you want enough Cure 3s to be able to heal during the the HP threshold phase, where if you do direct damage, it'll trigger the refill skip, or the refill, not the skip. Yeah, this is not good. Plumeria is through Mylon and friends, has the crystal. Now what?
Yeah, what you gonna do, Plumeria? You gonna go get lots of consumables, or are you going to try and Mech Giant grind?
Well, Plumeria is leaving, so heck the LST. Don't want to be here. Going back down to the blue planet. So we'll see. Question in chat: Our anchor is Yang, for reference. Rydia is just not relevant for this fight anymore for Judge Joe. She's too slow. Doesn't have enough HP. I hope this Big Bang is nerfed. It is.
That puts Joe in a much better spot, keeping that Rosa up. But yeah, 23 agility.
It's a thing. Will you believe? I cannot believe, but Plumeria is going to pick up the Edward.
If Plumeria is also planning on doing 1200 stats, might just want Edward to hide as insurance.
Yeah, but then he pops up in the menu and he takes up ticks that would otherwise be important for you to throw vampires and cure 3s and stuff.
There is another terrible, terrible option.
No, you're not going to Eddie strats. No. There's no way you Eddie strats with Sid and Yang on your party right now, though. That was not nerfed.
Sid, you can do it. You can do it. Hold on.
Like, I think if Plumeria somehow found a cursed ring, then, you know, you could technically do Eddie strats, I guess. But, like,
well, didn't buy a bunch of vampires, which is a start. And it is S Pro, so you're not finding a cursed ring in shops, I don't think.
This is, why is Plumeria going here?
Plumeria is looking for something.
Oh, you know what Plumeria is looking for? Also, that counter nuke blew up Yang. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh no.
That was a 2300 roll, and that's a reset. Oh boy. Oh boy. So I don't remember. Actually, never mind. Hold on. I will scroll up in chat.
Sell the spin. Sell it.
So that was 12 minutes. Oh boy.
Judge Joe finding a cat claw.
Well, that's RA2. Oh boy. There you go. That's what you want. Sort of.
I have never looked at this setup and said this is what I want.
I agree. I agree. So I think Plumeria bought some Cure 3s. I don't really want to look at the race room, so I'm not going to, but I think some shenanigans are happening.
Well, there's the lack of anything going on in the race room, I think, is what Arun
I see.
Oh, we still have no finishers.
I can't imagine why.
I want to hear that somebody in this race went and did a Mac Giant grind.
Honestly, I think four characters Mac Giant is the correct play right now. It's slow, but at least you will, like, Yang and Sid will have 1 billion HP, Rosa will have white, Rydia will have nuke, and like you have plenty of like safety for doing the what you need to do.
Doors.
The other grind option, of course, is doors. And so I guess Plumeria is just going to run, just going to do a nice little tidy door grind. Rosa's really fast. So she's going to be able to cast Wall on whoever gets targeted with the search. And then Disrupt will be reflected back onto the trapdoor. Now, hilarious. This is very funny. Okay, it didn't matter here, but once Edward gains more XP, he will auto hide and buffer a tick. That's very funny.
Edward, please.
All right, so Judge Joe back into the fight around 137 on the clock. We'll see how it goes this time.
So every time I've ever tried to do a door grind, I always forget that I have to turn encounters on, and then I waste a door.
Yeah, I've done that too. The thing for me is like I get encounters in between, like in between the doors, and I'm like, let me leave. Also, I think I learned something today too.
What's that?
Do trapdoors have the boss bet?
Maybe.
They do. They do have the boss bit, and that's why Edward is not auto hiding. Good to know.
Fascinating.
I was so confident about the auto hide, and then it didn't happen, and I said, it's kind of strange. So one thing you might do if you were an enterprising free enterprise player, is you would pull out a calculator right now if you were in Judge Joe's position, and you would be counting damage. Because like every time you see a virus go out for like 2,300, that's a lot different than what you normally expect. So you want to get up to 41k. The threshold is 45, but you're also getting a little bit of sap damage, and your math isn't like perfect. So trying to figure out how long you can go with vampires until you need to switch to antidotes, say, is very important for Judge Joe right now.
Also, real quick, I am going to jump in, and we have two finishers.
Yo!
Flurry 14 has finished first place in the race with a time of 1 hour, 39 minutes, and 21 seconds, and Roger McBain directly behind in second place with a time of 1 hour, 39 minutes, and 30 seconds.
Whoa, that's so hype. Wow. GG's to both of them. Longtime runners in the community. All four of our runners, very talented. So it's good. Really glad to have everyone in this race today. We're only watching these two, but you can imagine that there was some really high-level gameplay going on off-stream as well.
Yep.
Antidale pointing out that Flurry did not do a Mac Giant grind. I wonder what he did.
Probably something silly. Flurry's good with that. Like Scythe said, Flurry, a longtime member, been around forever and a day, one of my wonderful workshop helper friendos. Roderick McBain, been around since before I joined the community, one of our French-Canadian runners. Very good runner. Always a pleasure to get to see him join some of our races as well. And apparently Flurry did more boxes than Joe.
I mean, hardly surprising. So for Pumlaria, I see Rosa has white. Rydia does not have nuke yet. So I think he's going to go until the girls have the two big spells. And then probably we'll take on Zeromus at that point, do some reflex strats.
Yeah, because Sid and Yang are not the dream when it comes to damage. If Sid, say, had an Artemis bow and arty arrows, maybe. But yeah, you're gonna need some big swinging spells. But this fight going a lot better for Joe, keeping everybody up and alive, getting those nerfs off.
And he's going to hold with Rosa's turn here. Going to wait for Black Hole.
There's Fatal on Rydia. Not exactly the big spell you're looking for, but
Oh
she is
no.
close.
Oh, that's not what you wanted to.
Oh no. No, wall, why?
That's uh-oh. What does that mean? Oh, he just didn't wait? He must be on battle speed 6 then. Well, okay, RA2 to RA4 because of the Silk Web, and battle speed 6, yeah. Oh boy.
What does that mean in terms of refills?
Nothing really. As long as Joe isn't in, like, it, as long as he hasn't passed the refill threshold, that's fine. It means you get an extra 3.5k. So if you've been counting, subtract 3,500 from your total and then keep going. With the virus into nuke, that's already like made up for all of that. So I don't think it's a significant change. The issue is that you didn't get the Cure 4 on your party, so you have no wiggle room. You need to nerf this next Big Bang.
And we've talked quite a bit about nerfing. I don't know that we've explained exactly the science behind it.
Yeah, the mechanics are a little bit funky. Basically what happens is that when Zeromus gets ready to, like, when Zeromus does a Big Bang, what Zeromus does is when it sets a time. So, okay. Whenever a character or a monster sets a move that they're going to use, they have to set a timer. And the timer ticks down to say, okay, this is when the move goes off. All monsters have timers that are 1 tick long, unless it's a Silk Web, in which it's 2 ticks that gets doubled. That was nerfed. Good job. I think Rydia took 200 damage from that. Let's go. So when Zeromus sets up for Big Bang, there's a shake. That's 1 action. And then Zeromus waits for the next turn and then sets a timer for Big Bang. At the same time as it sets a timer, Zeromus sets his spell power to whatever it is. I think it's 11. 12? Lesson? No, it's more than that. I would have to check the script, which I could do. I'm on the wiki. The wiki is really good. Look at the wiki if you have questions about the game. But that's the key, is that the spell power gets set when the timer for Big Bang is set up. You can throw an item or a spell in between when that timer gets set and when the Big Bang actually happens. And when you do that with a spell that triggers a counter nuke, Zeromus changes his spell power for the counter nuke to something lower than what it is for Big Bang. And so, because he doesn't set it again when Big Bang actually goes off, you get a nerfed Big Bang. It's a much weaker Big Bang. Instead of doing 2,000 damage, it's doing like maximum 1,200. And that's where the name 1,200 strats comes from. You just need a party of characters with more than 1,200 HP, and you can never die from a nerfed Big Bang. Past that, the idea is we need to... Zeromus has an HP refill that happens at 45,000 HP, but it only triggers if you do direct damage. So if all the damage you do is reflected, then Zeromus can't refill his HP, and so you only have to do 61,000 instead of the 105 or something.
And it looks like Joe has transitioned to antidotes, but so is looking to not trigger that HP refill. But Plumeria is in the night, or Plumeria is in the fight. So it's going to be close.
Yeah, Plumeria doing a more traditional, again, reflex strats, going to avoid triggering the HP refill. But this time we've got Rydia casting Nuke and Rosa shooting things? Oh, never mind. We are not doing... What is... I guess Plumeria is just doing, like...
Let Rosa hit things.
Hybrid strats? That's cool. Okay, that wasn't what I was expecting, but it works.
White can be a pretty finicky spell, too. It's got a longer cast time than Nuke, and if you mistime that and accidentally nuke your Palom in the face, or white cast your Palom in the face, I've done that, and it feels real bad.
Yeah. So, I guess... Ooh, is this nerfed? Good question. That was not nerfed on Plumeria's side, but everyone lived, so I guess we're okay.
Yeah, Rydia held on. Yay, Rydia!
So that felt like a very awkward pause for Plumeria Knight. I think he's in nuke phase instead of the initial virus phase. So this is post HP refill. You don't see it. In the Pixel Remaster version, you do see the HP refill. But, here we are.
Well, this is going to be even closer than I thought. If he is already in nuke phase, yeah, this is going to be close.
Zooming. Whoa, the nuke stays up for Judge Joe. That's it. Judge Joe is through the fight. GG's. Wow.
And that is a time of 1 hour, 49 minutes, and 43 seconds. We'll see if Judge Joe's up for an interview. And meanwhile, looks like Plumeria Knight taking a pretty bad big bang that Rydia is down. So we are down to Rosa and the two very, very beefy men. That's
well,
a dead Sid.
let's go with one beefy man. Like, peace out, Sid. So we in the free enterprise community have like 15 different ways to beat Zeromus. We've labbed out a whole bunch of things. One thing we've done is something called power couple strats. And the idea here is basically you have one character that does the damage with Zerking probably, and we have one character that does the healing. In this case, normally we would have maybe Yang or Cecil doing the Zerking, and Rosa can cast Cure 4, things like that. And you just tank the big bangs, because with 2500 HP, you always live. We have reverse power couple strats. Heroine Rosa doing the damage with arrows, and Yang playing the chemist role.
I mean, we did buy 50 Cure 3s. You've got to use them. You can't take them with you.
That is true. I am mildly... I should write this down. I'm curious as to why Plumeria brought Rydia up instead of immediately healing with Yang.
Looks like gonna try and get another nuke off, but with that beding, we are joined by Judge Joe. GG's to you.
Thanks. That was a fun seed.
Yeah, y'all kind of had the world open to you pretty early with that magma key. How'd you feel?
I mean, it's no going to the moon, which I always enjoy, but we didn't exactly get much. Until the arty arrows from the Waterhog fight, there really just wasn't a great thing to answer. I'm sure Dwarf probably taught Leviathan, and you could have relied on that. That would have been a pretty solid way to go through the seed, but I just didn't feel like doing Dwarf.
It
Once
did
I
not.
found out it was Gauntlet.
It did not. Dwarf did not give Leviathan or Bahamut.
Oh. Yay for good choices.
Question mark?
Some good choices. Some very, 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 very bad choices. Also.
Yeah, I guess we should address that elephant in the room. Your first Z attempt.
So it doesn't matter if you have 3,000 health. If you're at a 23 agility anchor, maybe consider checking your last set of gated shops for either the cat claw for 28 or the curse ring for 8 agility, and it'll make your life a lot easier.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
I
there was
agree
another
with that.
set,
But that would have forced you to, I guess you did leave the moon anyway. So, like, you were on the blue planet again. But
Yep.
it's fine.
I went to the blue planet because I knew I needed Star Veils. I didn't know what my Z plan was, but I kind of did. But I knew I was going to need Star Veils no matter whether it was rough Zerkers, really, really rough Zerkers, or just chuck antidotes at its face.
Well, how about that Edward?
You could have taken Edward.
8 agility means he's not, or 9 agility means he's not fast enough to contribute.
Well, we noticed you just stopped. And then you tried to feed him a Cure 3.
I was like, I'll grab the body. Not worth. If a Tier 3's not healing him, I don't know.
I mean, I agree with that sentiment. Just leave him in the bed. That's about as useful as he can be, but yeah. Any other thoughts on the seed itself?
Fairly straightforward. There was a Luca key somewhere. Just go to Luca, chase that for the darkness, and bam, bam, bam. There's your other 3 objectives.
So you say, oh, it's easy. Just go to Seal Cave and chase the chain. How worried were you that you would have to take on Evil Wall at Leviathan?
It'd have been fun. It would have been a fun fight.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I'd have figured it out at some point. A door grind may or may not have occurred for a little bit.
So, I guess the other question I have for you is, you did not step into Castle Eblin. Is that not a thing on these flags? Because you could just get a free tier 6 Bahamut Orb. So I was sort of wondering about that.
I mean, we had a starting Earth Crystal for one, but I always, even in vanilla traps, which this isn't, I tend to almost want to prefer Watery Pass. Just positioning. It's next to all the early fights I like to take, so why not just do a quick stop there and pick up whatever random junk, hopefully, and get moving. In this case, we had the Earth Crystal, so why go to Eblin if I don't need to for XP?
Yeah, that makes sense. You save a lot of time and you get about as many checks for all the nice goodies in the treasury as well. So makes sense.
Like, if I had nothing and Watery Pass had nothing, then I suppose it would have been my third play, but you miss Bahamut Orb every so often. It would have maybe pushed me to do a little more of a grind, would have sped up the Antlion. would have sped up the moon.
A little bit, yeah. Oh, okay. One more question, and then I think maybe that's it. Did you ever consider Mac Giant Grind?
With no Thunderclaw, no Thunder Arrow, no Charm Arrow, nope.
It's hilarious because Plumeria found all 3 of those.
I mean, I only checked probably half the overworld weapon shop.
Yeah, that, like, it really felt like you shopped like I shop, which is, I got enough, it's probably fine. And then you realize that if you had just shopped at 2 more shops, you would have been better. Yeah, it was, the shopping was surprisingly good this seed.
But no, I enjoy going with a stack of life potions, a white mage, and a prayer.
That is the Judge Joe, isn't it?
And hey, you had a white mage.
Yeah. Tier 4 does make 1200 strats easier.
Yes, Cure 4 makes a lot of things easier.
It's such a good spell.
Well, I'll get going. Thanks for putting on this restream. I'm sure it'll be a fun one to watch. Well, most of it.
You will watch the
fights
first
with
hour and
Andy.
20 minutes.
So have a good night.
GG's again.
Thanks so much. And I believe we are joined by Plumeria Knight. GG's to you.
Oh, thanks. That was a fun seed, huh?
Absolutely.
Would you like somebody that could use all of the nice shiny swords y'all got?
Yeah, I would like Kane and Cecil, please. Thank you. That'd be great.
Apparently there was a Porum and a Foo.
Yeah, that's what I heard. How about that? I mean, Porum would have been great, actually, unironically.
Yeah, for sure.
As it was, you just kind of had to take those 2 old men and have them toss potions everywhere.
Yeah, I guess that's almost all of the mages, huh? We had all the mages except Tella.
Yeah.
and then also Yang. Very good.
Yeah,
he's
he's doing his best.
He took over the damage at the end there because I needed someone to heal who was actually fast enough to heal.
Yeah, and realistically, Yang can't run out of fist to punch.
Right.
So,
I was running out of arrows.
Yeah. So, what was your right at the end? You got your objectives. What was your Tell us about your thought process for trying to figure out the Zeromus fight with the party you had.
Well, my thought process was Spoon Flag. Slipped my mind. I thought I could use Edward there, but then the plan became, well, at least he can hide. And then I kind of accidentally did 2 counter nukes, so he couldn't hide, and that kind of derailed everything. But the plan basically was get those stack of Cure 3 potions. Rydia can reflect nuke. We'll do either Behemoth grind or a door grind. The door grind felt a little faster just because Rose is so quick there, and it's a lot easier than the RA1 setup even.
At any point, was a Mac Giant grind considered?
Yeah, but I felt with the heroine robe and the variety of arrows that I had that I could do anything on the moon. I just want to say I've never gotten so much mileage out of white arrows before, so kind of the MVP of the seed, I think. That white arrow purchase.
Yeah, those did work.
I always buy 10. I see white arrows. Sure, have a spot in my inventory. I'll get rid of them after I fight Mylon Zed, probably.
Yeah. I got use of them on Mylon and Golbez and Dark Elf. So that was pretty handy.
I forgot about the Dark Elf fight. Yeah, that was really quick. You powered through that fight pretty quickly. What prompted you, speaking of the Dark Elf fight, what prompted you to go top down on the moon?
Key items. I had 8 coming into the moon, and just figured it'd be a lot better for the Z fight if I can get Rydia that much closer to nuke with the key item bonus.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It didn't pay off, but that was
No, it didn't.
seems reasonable to me.
And I think Rydia ended up not getting a ton of HP or XP from the moon, so kind of in the end it was a waste of time, but if it had paid out, it would have been really nice. Especially with like the hook or something and maybe find that porn. But
I think I only had one other question, and that was in the middle end. I think it was the end of your Zeromus fight. You get hit with Big Bang, and then you chose to life up Rydia instead of healing Rosa.
Yes.
What was up with that?
Well, my plan was to nuke down Z, but use Rosa Zerking as the buffer so that I can do battle speed 1. I thought I had enough time to get her back up, and didn't quite have enough time. she was surviving those unnerved Big Bangs pretty well, and then she fell over, and that's kind of when the fight derailed. I thought I'd be okay, but then Sid fell over too, and things got a little hairy. But luckily, I put that Silk Web on early.
Yeah, Silk Web is definitely the MVP on every Zeromus fight. Well,
yeah, with C Hero for sure.
Fight. Especially like RA2 Zeromus fights is just so much safer to throw Silk Web early.
Yeah, it helps so much too because he goes down to RA4, and then I'm sure Rosa was 3 or something like that. So she's pretty much always buffering for the team at that point to help them tick down the ATB.
Makes sense. Okay, I lied. One more question. If Mega Sisters hadn't been on the moon, where were you going next?
I was going to keep finding key items, I think. Well, first thing I was going to check the waterfall because I skipped that. And then I was going to try to find, probably stop by Cave Bahamut and then see what other key items I could find.
You definitely went back for Waterfall Cave before you went to the moon.
Oh, I did. Yeah, it was Plague.
So that would have been very amusing to see you go back after. Yeah. Well, didn't need to worry about the Waterfall Cave. It did not.
Yeah, luckily.
It did not play a role in your performance in this seed today, unlike past races. Yeah. Stupid waterfall.
That's an easy one to forget.
Allie, did you have any questions for Plumeria?
I just have one. I know you've kind of started joining in on the races fairly recently. What are your thoughts on the flag set?
Oh, it's a really tough one. Very humbling, I think, especially, seeing all the other good players come in with good times. So it's just kind of a good way, I think, to get better at Free Enterprise and maybe, get some good practice in. And I think it's a really nice flag set for honing your strategies for bosses. Even if you have to reset a bunch of times and you get a bad time, the next time you encounter that boss in a similar position, you're going to have a good idea of what to do to get through it. Or if you can't get through it, maybe you need to go do something else. That's also a really good skill to have.
Definitely. I will say some of those runners you mentioned, Flurry and McBain in particular, I think they played in the original set, so don't sell yourself short yet.
Thanks.
But it's been really great to see you joining in. Yeah, I'm just excited to have brought the club back, and there actually be people playing it. It's astounding to me.
It's a fun club.
I would still be doing the asyncs, but by the time Saturday rolls around, I'm like, I can't think anymore.
I'm just glad that the flag set's still accessible enough that you can actually see, you can do a restream. My club doesn't have that property.
A couple of weeks ago, I don't know if that was true, but today was probably a good restream.
It was very good. We had a lot of fun.
It was fantastic.
Good.
I guess one more question. You know that evil wall at Leviathan?
Oh God.
How are you
Yeah.
feeling about that? The potential of that being on the table?
That was not good. That would have been a. Boy. Hopefully, there's a key item at Waterhack, and you can get another key item from that chain. Because otherwise, I don't know how you're getting through that evil wall.
Yeah, Judge Show was like, I'll figure it out, maybe.
Yeah.
It turns out Water Hag was just Artemis arrows.
No, that would have been nice, but.
Well,
Yeah.
you got them from Crystal Sword
Yeah.
Altar. So, like, in the end, wash, but, like, yeah. Anyway, well, GG's again. That was
you.
really fun to watch.
Yeah, thanks for the restream, and I hope you all had a great time.
Well, thanks so much for letting us restream you.
All right, take care, everybody.
But
Well,
with that,
Allie, I think we're
Yeah.
done, right?
I think we're done, but we do still have one of our Restream team members, community members, still playing some free Enterprise.
Yeah, so we're gonna go raid Fallgran. I had the pleasure of playing in the Ebon Elixir League with Fallgran and his brother Raquette. Very, very nice people. So go give them some love. And probably don't spoil the race. Maybe they want to watch it back because it was a hoot. Tell them it was a good one. And I guess with that, Allie, you want to take us out?
Yep. Thank you all so much for coming out. Again, thanks to Arunlor, our restreamer, Rydia Caller as our tracker, and of course, Scythe Marshall for coming out and doing comms with me. It has been a pleasure.